Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. Cold LA here. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to learn something new in crypto world. Go ahead and make sure you type in the chat box where you're listening in from and hit that thumbs up button on the YouTube channel. Welcome, Cleve Stewart from New York and Tony Pinkston. See you from Philadelphia. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, give my opinion, share suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space to have success. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Make a decision. Take action. Find a vehicle and remain focused. Do not get distracted. This is the springtime shuffle, everybody. Everybody's bouncing around looking for the latest, greatest thing. There's no way you can do that and have long-term success. Stay focused. Don't get distracted. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. So let me go ahead and turn on the screen sharing. I see we have Patricia Davis. Jacqueline Briggs, welcome. And share screen. You hear my line is blowing up. All right, let's look at what the crypto market is doing since this morning. Is $132.4 billion market cap. It's kind of remained stagnant since this morning. Still on the negative side, though. Bitcoin dominance is below 52%, 51.7% at $38.92 per coin. Let's see, Litecoin EOS over negative 4% drop. Bitcoin Cash negative 2%. The rest looks pretty much flat. Best performers the last 24 hours is Reinvigorate, 45.77%. GX Chain, 11.6%. Cubitica, 11.3%. Any top coins up here? Cardano got a 2% jump, and Stellar. Cardano and Stellar. Worst performers. Engine Coin. Now, isn't that interesting? Didn't we just cover them this morning? Engine Coin is tied to Samsung. I know what's happening. The people that already had Engine Coin sitting on it for a while, it rose up by like 300-some%, and then they sold to get their little profit, and it's coming back down. So it's a blowback. But this is definitely a coin I'm putting on my list. Why? Because Samsung is using them. Samsung has a huge market penetration in the Android and cell phone business. They just launched the Galaxy S10. It's a real world concept. They're using this engine company to be able to do their platform buy and sell using Bitcoin and crypto through the phone. So yeah, that's a real world use. I definitely want to put my hands on that. So I'll watch this go down more, flatten out, and I'll buy a bunch more. Engine Coin. That's the repo icon, Steam. All right. So let's take a look at some news. Facebook. This is an interesting thing. I remember when I first started doing my research into crypto, and I read about the Winklevoss twins and how they took some of their Facebook money, remember the settlement, and used $11 million of it to buy Bitcoin when it was dirt cheap. That $11 million investment made them billionaires off of that investment. I knew there's no way that Mark Zuckerberg is just going to sit by and just watch. And what did he do in 2018? Beginning of 2018? Banned all marketing and advertising on Facebook dealing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Why did he do that? Well, I said at the time, because they're probably going to be coming out and creating their own. Now you can go back, all my lives and Facebook lives is recorded. I said it. A year later, what do we see? Oh yeah, Facebook has a blockchain arm and they're looking to create their own coin. They want to get in this deep. The article I read yesterday shows I think they're doing it the wrong way and the timing is wrong. If they want to come up with their own coin. Timing is all wrong because people aren't trusting Facebook like that. Their marketing team is not hitting this one on the nail. But let's see what they can end up doing anyway. And this is going to happen off of default. You know, it's not that they can't be successful, even if I don't agree with what they're doing. The fact remains Facebook is a giant juggernaut, huge success. So anything that they do is going to have some form of success. You know, my phone has been blowing up because of Holton bugs. A couple of months ago, he was trying to launch a new crypto company. That didn't work out, so now we launched a travel company. And everybody's acting like I need to jump ship and run to Holton just because it's Holton bugs. See, understand one thing. The man is Michael Jordan in the industry. He could sell candy off the side of a freeway and have 10,000 people join his company in the first month. It's not about the product or his idea. It's Holton bugs. More power to him. He is one of the men that I follow as far as how to have success. He is the brand. Doesn't matter what he's doing. Same with Facebook. They've got 2 billion users. Now, if it will last long, you still got to have a good idea. You still got to have a good product. So Facebook is going to make a dent in the crypto space. It's going to happen. Whether they do it right or wrong doesn't matter. They're going to make an impact. I just believe that they're doing it the wrong way, and it's going to end up hurting the crypto space. Because if they do this wrong, the spotlight is on them. And when you have the spotlight on you, you know, you end up becoming like the ambassador of the brand. That's why I didn't want to have John McAfee running around and them calling him Mr. Crypto. That's not the model we want to use. Neither is Facebook. We don't want Facebook to be the shining star of what Bitcoin and crypto is all about because they're coming out with their own coin. We don't want JP Morgan to be the shining star because they're coming out with the JPM coin. Well, we all know what Jamie Dimon said just 2 years ago. But it cannot be ignored. Just like Holton Bugs cannot be ignored. It's going to have success regardless. So let's see how Facebook is trying to come into this space. Facebook cryptocurrency could raise $19 billion and reinvigorate the company, says Barclays. I doubt it. Wait. Let me rephrase that. Yes, they're going to raise $19 billion. Will it reinvigorate the company? I don't think so. There's a massive upside for Facebook entering the crypto space. According to tech analysts on Wall Street, the Facebook cryptocurrency, which will reportedly be used to facilitate cross-border payments and will have stablecoin properties, is worth at least $19 billion in revenue within the next 2 years. Here's the problem with this. You got to understand. The whole mindset of people in the crypto space when it first got started was anonymity, exclusivity, decentralization, no control by a company, a government, a bank, or a CEO. Facebook is the opposite of all of that. And since the crypto industry is not mainstream yet, the people who will kind of understand what they're trying to do are people who don't trust Facebook anyway. So you're going to have a bunch of people that's using Facebook right now that don't know what Bitcoin and crypto is to jump in on it, and that's going to be their first entrance into the Bitcoin world. That's not a good thing. But at least it will bring mass adoption. But let's continue here. Google earns $6 per user. Will Facebook payments match that? Think about it. If Facebook was earning $6 per user, that's 6 times 2 billion. Ross Sandler is an internet analyst for Barclays. He bases his math on the success of Google Play, which reportedly earns $6 per user. If Facebook has similar usage with this payment platform, its annual revenues will jump by $19 billion. The social media giant has just over I said 2 billion. They've got over 3 billion users. Good Lord. Sandler believes the stock will gain renewed confidence as soon. I just got distracted. I apologize. Why is everybody blowing me up right now? Let me say that again. Sandler believes the stock will gain renewed confidence as soon as Facebook begins finding ways to profit outside of advertising and other means that compromise user privacy. Entirely optional revenue models, like the ability to send low-fee payments across borders to friends and family, are likely to receive praise from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C. Sandler told CNBC, Merely establishing this revenue stream starts to change the story for Facebook shares in our view. Any attempt to build out revenue streams outside of advertising, especially those that don't abuse user privacy, are likely to be well received by Facebook's shareholders. Facebook and Google are both masters of targeted advertising, which has led to extreme criticism and regulatory investigation. While Google continually launches services that earn non-advertising revenue, Zuckerberg and company have been slow to adapt to a changing landscape. The Cambridge Analytica scandal remains fresh in the public's memory. However, user growth has continued at an impressive rate. The company has around half the world on its platforms, even more. If you discount the many millions who are not yet old enough to legally have a Facebook account. But I hear, though, from like the new millennials, to them, they say Facebook is for old people now. They're not even on Facebook. They're using like Twitter and stuff. I have a Twitter account and I have no idea how to use it. I mean, Donald Trump's got one big over me on that one. I don't remember the last time I ever tweeted anything. You know what? I think my YouTube channel is attached to it. So every time I upload a YouTube video, it does go on my Twitter. That's true. But after a direct tweet, followers and all that, I just don't get it. Facebook, yeah, I live on Facebook. Anyways, however, user growth has continued at an impressive rate. Just wait for the many millions. They're not legally old enough yet. Sandler speculates that the cryptocurrency doesn't have to be just a peer-to-peer payments mechanism. He thinks Facebook will use the token for things like premium content as well. Okay, that will be the death of Facebook. Premium content. So basically, we got to pay to play. If you don't want to have so many ads, use the Facebook crypto to eliminate the ads. If you want your post to be seen by more people, boost your... Oh, wait, that's already here. Make a payment, then boost your post so more friends can see. This is if I had the resources, this will be a time to launch a competitor to Facebook, a real viable competitor. Heck, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just copy it. Change the name. Facebook did it to MySpace. Google did it to Yahoo. Netflix did it to Blockbuster. Airbnb did it to, well, the hotel industry. Uber did it to the cars. Green's doing it to the electricity industry. If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it, but there are some things about Facebook that are broke. Sandler speculates that the cryptocurrency doesn't have to be just peer-to-peer. Yeah, I read that part. Let's go down. Monetizing the platform will create a lot of unique opportunities for the company. For example, investing groups could charge for access, or social media personalities could sell exclusive access to live streams. Yeah, this is opening up a whole other world, but it's going against what everybody wants. Maybe the new generation, that's what they're all about, because they're playing these video games like Fortnite and whatever, that you don't grow your character based on skill. You grow based on how much money you're buying of in-game content. I just saw the other day, my son paid like $10 for a stupid dance move that his character does, or avatar. I'm like, you paid how much for that? Actually, I paid, since it's my account, $10 for him to do a stupid dance move on the screen? Who's going to see that? My friends will see it. So what? But it's pay to play. That's not how it was in my generation. See, I was a kid in the 80s. I came up on Atari, ColecoVision, and Nintendo. And there was no way we wanted to sit there and watch somebody else play. We were fighting over our turn to get our hands on the controller. Nowadays, these kids would rather watch other kids play on YouTube. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm watching them play Minecraft. What do you mean you're watching them? You have Minecraft. Why don't you just play it? Well, I want to watch them play it. What? See, that doesn't compute in my head. I know I'm only 42 years old, but a big kid, that you can say. I still play video games and stuff. I'm a kid of the 80s and the 90s. I just don't get it. I can't sit there and watch somebody else play, but that's this new generation. So now Facebook is trying to adopt that same policy. Only they're saying, yeah, you don't need to attach your PayPal account. Just use the Facebook coin. JP Morgan is doing the same thing with the JPM coin. Okay, so perhaps most importantly, in regions like Venezuela, where the local currency is unreliable, that's an understatement, Facebook users can have a more reliable stablecoin-like currency in a mostly secure digital space. The company should have less difficulty offering the service to its global user base by using blockchain, particularly in regions that ban Facebook like China. To justify his speculation, Sandler notes that the head of the cryptocurrency's development team is former PayPal exec David Marcus. One question that arises is where else Facebook payments might integrate. The company's user base outsizes many payment platforms. If all one needs to use it is a Facebook account, it's not hard to imagine business accepting it for goods and services. However, getting into the money services business represents as many challenges as it does revenue opportunities. The industry is highly regulated on a global basis, and the security implications of monetizing every account are more than obvious. Yep. All right, now let's look at, I found this one interesting. Just a title. How to use Bitcoin when the apocalypse hits. That should be some interesting news. How can we use Bitcoin? My only problem with just that premise right there, if the apocalypse hits, will we still have electricity, or will we be put in the dark ages? Because here's one big flaw in the whole crypto internet type stuff, this tech world we live in now. You take away electricity, you have access to nothing. You can't trade or send your Bitcoin around if there's no power. So let's see what this guy has to say. When the world collapses and society splinters into factions fighting for the scraps, you'll want to keep your friends close and your crypto closer. Whatever the cause of the fallout, economic disaster is certain. Fiat currency will be the first to falter, leaving gold, Bitcoin, and barter as the only surviving means of exchange. Here's how you can use your crypto when Judgment Day comes. See, this is the type of guy, he would not like me. Let's just say they're like Dick down here, this Bitcoin conference, right? Blockchain Day at Risk 2019. Is that Puerto Rico, PR? Or just press release? So let's say we're on stage and this guy spent weeks preparing for his whole speech about the apocalypse and how we're going to use Bitcoin to survive. And I would kill his entire argument in the first sentence. What are you going to do when there's no electricity? And then I just sit back and look at him. well, let me get to that. No. You can just waste it all of our time. What are you going to do if there's no electricity? How are you going to power up that Ledger wallet, that Nano? How are you going to get to your Coinbase account or Uphold or your Exodus wallet? How are you going to move coins around? Really, the only two things you're going to have is barter and gold. But let's just see what he has to say. Shut up, Brandon. I will be his spoiler for him. It's the end of the world as we know it. Bitcoin has long attracted interest from fringe elements of society. Anarchists, freedom fighters, libertarians, gun nuts, hoarders, preppers, and combinations thereof. Many of these individuals have little faith in society, believing that global collapse is imminent, bringing the financial system down with it. In this post-capitalist world, only the prepared will survive, armed with their wits, weapons, a supply of canned goods, and of course, a stash of peer-to-peer currency. There's just one problem. Depending on how hard the apocalypse hits and depending on its cause, nuclear fallout, meteorite, electrical storm, alien zombies, performing the sort of digital activities we take for granted today may be virtually impossible. All right, he hit on it. Okay. All right, I feel a little better now. For those convinced that the end times are nigh, it's not enough to stockpile Bitcoin. Preppers must also figure out how they're going to spend it when the shit gets real. Ooh. Sending crypto when the internet's on the blink. It would be easy to write survivalists off as loonies, but when the apocalypse arrives, it's the rest of us who will look crazy. Even if you don't believe global meltdown is inevitable, there's value to be had in Bitcoin war games. Envisaging worst case and what if scenarios, envisioning. Okay. That would test the digital currency to its limits. In a world with sporadic internet, Bitcoin would still survive. In fact, it would fare a lot better than fiat currency would in a world of sporadic banks ridden with looting and widespread financial instability. If grandma didn't get Bitcoin in more civilized times, she's not going to grasp it now. The world's in flames and the enemy's at the gates. Bitcoin can be sent and received without using the internet, such as over ham radio. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I forgot about that technology. There'll always be radio signals. The process is convoluted, though. And besides, when societal breakdown occurs, we're likely revert to a feudalist society in which locals trumps global. There'll be no need to use Bitcoin to buy stickers and other trinkets online because there'll be no mailman or UPS driver to deliver it to your door. And besides, your letterbox will have been boarded up and the door barred to keep the zombies at bay. If you do need to send crypto long distance, it'll likely be to friends or family who are facing their own post-apocalyptic struggle. Should ham radio prove too fiddly and the Wi-Fi's been down for days, try Cointext, whose SMS service enables anyone to send Bitcoin Cash without using the internet. Well, yeah, that's texting, but how are you going to charge your phone? Again, it comes down to electricity. Got to think about that. Sending Bitcoin long distance might be tricky in a doomsday scenario. Spending it in person will be easier. For one thing, it's not imperative to be connected to the internet at the point of making a transaction. Although you will need the web to kick in at some point for it to be broadcast and received by other parties. Oh, yeah, that's right, too. Okay, so even if you use a ham radio, for example, the reason why the Bitcoin works in the transactions is because it's being recorded on the ledger. The ledger is the blockchain, which means it's being confirmed by other computers. Once it has, 3 to 5 confirmations, it's confirmed transaction and recorded on every device. How's that going to happen if there's no power, no electricity? The other networks are not connected. Double spending is unlikely to be a problem because in a post-civilized society, there will be easier ways to extract profit than through fraudulent spending Bitcoin. Guns and an absence of law enforcement means that physical crimes will be far more effective than digital. So good luck reaching Coinbase customer support when there are zombies roaming the streets and nuclear clouds on the horizon. Should the world revert to tribalism, trust will be more important than ever. You know what series kind of answered that question for me that I used to watch? Was The Walking Dead. What the first season? Were they out of Atlanta? Somewhere in Atlanta. But The Walking Dead. How do you survive in a world where you're going back to the dark ages? It's interesting. People will stick with and trade with their own kind. As such, if anyone's prepared to accept your cryptocurrency in exchange for goods, it will be fellow preppers who already know how to use it. If grandma didn't get Bitcoin in more civilized times, she's not going to grasp it now. The world's in flames and the enemy's at the gates. Here's something else you got to understand too about doom and gloom scenarios like this. All hope is not lost. All of human history, entire human history, survived with no electricity. We have only had electricity for a blimp of our existence. For 10 years now, there's been electricity. My grandmother's 95 years old. She didn't have electricity as a kid growing up. When we talk about in the her old stories from the 20s, out in Shreveport, Louisiana, out on the farm, different times. Wasn't that long ago. So as such, if anyone's, I did grandma. Go to, if you're a Bitcoin maximalist and a global minimalist, how you store your crypto is crucial. Needless to say, the custodial solutions won't be any good at a time of national crisis. Good luck reaching Coinbase customer support when there are zombies roaming the streets and nuclear clouds on the horizon. Self-custody is the only way to go. And ideally, you'll want coins in a more spinnable format than a hardware wallet. Prepping a number of Bitcoin paper wallets in advance is the smartest way to go, or you could opt for a few Opendime Bitcoin sticks. Yeah, you're going to need something physical for this. Plan for the worst and hope for the best. The reality of a global apocalypse will likely be more mundane. The explosions will be smaller, the economic fallout moderate, and the rampaging zombies nothing more than redundant hedge fund managers. Still it pays to be prepared, be it local, regional, or national. A major crisis of some kind is inevitable in our lifetime. Start stacking those stats now and have a plan for when the shit hits the fan. Now, there's another series that came out maybe a couple of years ago that showed the entire world lost electricity. There was a science experiment or something gone bad, and that electricity wasn't coming back because there was like these nanites in the air that's preventing it from happening. And so the entire world delved back into how things were before there was electricity. And there was one character, this little chubby dude. When the lights were on, he was a multimillionaire on paper. But when the lights went off, his money was just ones and zeros in the bank account. He went from rich to broke in a second. So what we view as value changed very quickly. Do you know how to hunt? Do you know how to make your own clothes? Do you know how to grow your own food? You know, my grandparents, they're called the World War II generation, the greatest generation for America, what they're called. Grew up at a time where they were the last generation before the Industrial Revolution, where everybody moved from the fields into the cities to work in plants and factories and corporations and the assembly line. Before that time, everybody lived out on their own farms, made their own food, were self-sufficient. There weren't grocery stores like there are right now. And again, that wasn't that long ago. We're talking 100 years. So will we survive as a race? Yes. There will be a lot of, I don't want to, scare people, let's just call it a population decline will take place, a major one. But the race or species will survive. Jack's right. Wasn't that long ago? Indoor bathrooms were laughed at. You had the outhouse. I've seen some old movies and historical. I couldn't live back in those old times. No. Couldn't do it. We're spoiled. We don't realize how spoiled we are now. The poorest poor person now lives better than the richest rich person 200 years ago, as far as luxury is concerned. Always be grateful for what you have and where you are right now, despite what's going on in your life. It could be worse. It could be far worse. But anyways, I don't think Bitcoin is going to have any place in the world if there's an apocalypse and there's no electricity. It had its day in the sun. As long as there's no internet, there's no Bitcoin. But if there is a new world order that takes place and electricity and the power grid is up and running, but all the major economies collapse, that is when you see Bitcoin shine. All right, well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, I have for tonight for Late Night Crypto Talk. Hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. I did finish up. People are asked about funding. They want to invest in the crypto space, but they don't have the money to do so. How you can get a personal loan and a business loan, how to qualify for it. I finished up a website capture page. I'll put it in here. winwithivy.com. Anybody that's interested in that? We had a couple of people that have gotten funded already. The name of the game is let your money work for you, not you working for your money. But it takes money to make that happen. I learned that very quickly. That's most people's biggest obstacle. They want to start a business. They don't have the resources to do so. They want to get a loan, but they have bad credit and they don't qualify. Well, we've got a system that will help you to either build your credit, get you funded. But the most important thing is what to do with the money. One of my goals, as I said, by the end of this year, I want to have at least 4 streams of income coming in automatically without my overall, I got to watch how I say this, with little work as possible as far as my direct involvement, because there is going to be some involvement that you got to do. But the point is that your money is making money for you without you having to recruit anybody. That's network marketing. I was very good at that. I'm tired of it now. Let your money work for you. But if you need funding, we know how we can help you get your funding. So with that, I'm still waiting on the biggest big news coming out of KGX that we are very, very close to publicizing. The quiet before the storm. You already know about our Forex trading desk that's coming online, our crypto trading desk that's coming online. There's a third that I can't say that's also going to have a lot of people excited. Jack says, how much would you recommend starting with? Well, it depends on what you want to do. Let's say, for example, you want to be in Forex and the trading desk. What KGX is coming out with, it's going to cost at least $1,000 in. Now, you have to figure how much are you going to make? What is your return on investment going to be? I cannot guarantee anything, but if I look at traditional with other platforms that's out right now, traditionally, you can do anywhere between 10 to 40 or 60% a month on your money. So if you start with $1,000 and you're doing 20% a month, that's $200 a month. That's not going to get you that far. If you have 10,000 and is doing 20%, now you're talking about 2,000 a month. Okay. What if you had 20,000, 25, 50,000? You have 50,000 working for you and it's pulling anywhere between 10, 15, 20 40, 50%. Now you're talking some serious money. But remember my rules. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. And then number 3, when you start having money come in, make your money back as fast as possible. Don't get greedy. Get your money back. Now you've eliminated your risk, and you've got money out there that's working for you to play with. You don't need that money to pay your bills, to pay for your medical, pay your mortgage. That's your work money. And there are people that I do not respond to when it comes to people sending me messages about to get more funding, because you got to be responsible. Some people don't know how to handle that. They get all of a sudden $20K in their bank account, they lose their freaking mind. Oh, buddy, you got to pay that back. The point is investing it in something that's going to bring you a return on your money, and let the return pay the loan and pay for your life, not live off the principal. You got to think like a bank. That's a whole another topic. But anyways, you can go winwithivey.com. Check it out. I just created it today. KGX presentation on Thursday. I'm also bringing that up so people can get through that process and have the funding necessary to put into our Forex and our crypto bots when it launches. You need money. So this is how a way you can make that happen. All right, with that, you guys have a great evening. I'll be back tomorrow morning with early morning crypto talk. Have a good evening, everybody. God bless. Good night. Bye-bye.